A woman found out that her husband had slept with her best friend, the friend who was her maid of honor, held her kids, and knew everything about her marriage. She is going crazy from the double treachery. No one who knows them both can find out. Please help her get through this. I've been carrying this big thing around for days because I don't know what to do with it. A woman I know who has always been strong and calm reached out to me. She's totally broken. She told me not to tell anyone who she is because these people are part of her daily life, and she doesn't want anyone to find out yet. But she's desperate for direction, for perspective, for anything that might help her take the next breath. She found out her husband slept with her best friend. I know how that sounds. Like a bad movie plot. Like something that happens to other people. But it happened to her, and watching her try to understand it was like watching someone drown on dry land. When she told me, she started with, "I don't even know where to begin because every part of this is a nightmare." Her voice was hollow, like something vital had been scooped out of her. Then she just started talking, and I sat there listening, my own heart breaking for her. She's been married for 7 years. 7 years that she describes as mostly good. Not perfect, no marriage is, but strong, real. They had their fights, their stressful seasons, but she never doubted him. She trusted him completely. He was her person, her partner, the father of her 2 children. She built her entire life around the idea that he was her safe place. And her best friend, God. This is where it gets so much worse. They'd been friends for 12 years. 12 years. Since college. This woman was in her wedding party. She was the maid of honor, standing right there beside her on the most important day of her life. She was at the hospital when both of her babies were born. She was the first person she called with good news, bad news, any news. They talked every single day, multiple times a day. This friend knew everything, every fight she'd had with her husband, every personal detail about their marriage, every fear she had about her postpartum body, every fear, every dream, every secret. When she was dealing with postpartum depression, after her second child, this friend was the one who came over and held her while she cried, who told her she was a good mother when she felt like she was failing. That's the friend who slept with her husband. She found out 2 weeks ago. She'd left her phone at home while she ran to pick up her son from soccer practice. When she got back, her husband was in the shower, and his phone was on the kitchen table. It buzzed with a text from her best friend. She glanced at it, not spying, just glancing, and saw, "I can still feel your hands on me. When can we do that again?" She said her legs gave out. She actually fell right there in the kitchen. She sat on the floor with that phone in her shaking hands and opened the texts. Weeks of texts, explicit shots, plans to meet up, discussions about how they had to be careful, how they couldn't let her find out. They'd been sleeping together for 3 months. 3 months of lies from the 2 people she trusted most in this world. And here's what's killing her. Really killing her. She can trace back every moment now and see how blind she was. All those times, her friend offered to watch the kids so she could run errands, and her husband would suddenly need to run to the hardware store. The girls' trip her friend canceled last month because of work. Her husband had also been working late that whole weekend. The way her friend had been weird and distant lately, But when she asked about it, her friend put it on stress at work. Every hug, every "I love you." Every time her friend sat in her kitchen drinking wine and listening to her vent about her marriage. She was sleeping with her husband the whole time, taking notes, possibly, learning his flaws so she could exploit them. When she confronted them, individually, because she couldn't bear to see them together, their reactions destroyed what little was left of her heart. Her husband cried, actually cried, and said it meant nothing, that it was a mistake, that he doesn't even know how it happened. He said he loves her, that she's his wife, the mother of his children, that he'll do anything to fix this. He begged her not to leave, said he'd go to therapy, cut off all contact with the friend, anything she wanted. But her best friend got defensive, started making reasons, said that she'd been confiding in him about problems in the marriage, that he'd been sensitive with her, that it just happened naturally. She had the audacity to say that maybe if the marriage was solid, this wouldn't have happened. She actually tried to blame her for the affair. Then, and this part made me physically sick when she told me, her friend said, "You've always had everything. The ideal marriage, the kids, the house. Did you ever think that maybe I needed something for myself?" Can you imagine turning 12 years of friendship into jealousy and excuse for sleeping with her husband, making herself the victim in this case? Now, this woman is stuck in a nightmare she can't escape. She has to see her husband every day because they have children together. Her friend is part of their extended social group. Their families know each other. Their kids play together. They have mutual friends who have no idea what happened. She can't tell anyone without it bursting into public drama that will affect her children. She's sleeping in the spare room, going through the steps for her kids, making breakfast, packing lunches, helping with homework, while dying inside. Her 7-year-old asked her yesterday why she looked so sad, and she had to lie and say she was just tired. Her children love their father. They love their auntie, who's been in their lives since they were born. How does she protect them from this truth? At night, she said the thoughts torture her. She imagines them together, wonders where they did it. Was it in her house? In her bed? She washes the sheets obsessively now, even though her husband says it was never at home. She can't stop thinking about her friend's hands on her husband's body, her husband's mouth on her friend's skin, the intimacy they shared while she was home with the babies, trusting them both fully. She keeps asking herself the same questions on repeat. How did she miss it? What's wrong with her that her own husband would do this? What's wrong with her that her best friend would hurt her this way? Was their entire friendship a lie? Did her friend ever really love her? Or was she always jealous, always waiting for an opportunity? And the deepest, most painful question, who is she supposed to call when her world falls apart, if the two people she would have called are the ones who destroyed it? She's having panic attacks, can't eat, lost 8 pounds in 2 weeks. She looks at herself in the mirror and doesn't know the woman staring back. She used to be confident, happy, safe. Now she's a shell of a person, just trying to live each day without completely falling apart in front of her children. She wants to know what to do. Does she try to save her marriage? Can a couple survive this kind of betrayal? Some people are telling her to divorce him instantly, that he doesn't deserve a second chance. Others are saying she should try therapy for the sake of the kids. But nobody knows about the best friend part. That's the layer that makes it so much more difficult. What does she do about her friend? Does she introduce her to their social circle? Does she tell the friend's family? Does she just cut her off quietly and make reasons when people ask why they're not close anymore? She's angry and wants everyone to know what kind of person her friend really is. But she's also afraid of the gossip, the judgment, the way it will blow up their lives. How does she trust anyone again? If the two people closest to her could do this, how does she ever believe in anyone? How does she make new friends without thinking if they're secretly after her husband? How does she stay married without checking his phone every 5 minutes, without worrying every time he's late coming home? And her children? How does she manage this for them? They love their father. They love their aunt. Do they deserve to know the truth when they're older? Or is that a load she carries alone forever? She's also dealing with the real questions. They own a house together, have shared bank accounts, share care of 2 children. If she goes, where does she go? How does she start over as a single mother? But if she stays, how does she look at him every day without seeing what he did? This woman asked me to bring this to you because she's alone, in a way she's never been alone before. The 2 people she would have turned to in a crisis are the problem. She needs to hear from people who've survived this specific kind of double deception, people who've had their marriage and their friendship destroyed by the same act. She needs to know, is it possible to heal from this? Can she ever trust her husband again? Should she even try? How long does this pain last? What helped you survive? Did you stay or did you leave? If you stayed, how did you rebuild? If you left, how did you know it was the right choice? How do you handle the common friends, the family connections, the children's relationships? How do you stop the obsessed thoughts? How do you reclaim your sense of self when 2 people you loved have killed your ability to trust your own judgment? This woman is sinking. She's barely keeping her head above water for her children's sake, but when they're asleep, she falls apart. She needs knowledge. She needs hope. She needs to know that she can survive this, even though right now it feels impossible. So I'm asking you, begging with you, if you've been here, if you've survived this particular hell, please share what you know. Tell her what she needs to hear. Tell her what helped. Tell her how you found your way back to yourself. Because right now, she's lost, and she badly needs to find her way home. What would you tell her? How does she survive liking 2 people who destroyed her?